Hello everyone and welcome back to another Division 2 video. Today we look at Taskforce Butler as we continue playing our Division series. Now one thing that I have done differently this video, and that I will do differently going forward, is I will always at the start of the video show my final build. I have checked some stats and I've noticed that, probably not surprising, most of you guys only watch the actual game. And not so many of you watch my intro and my outro. Now, admittedly, they are way too long, and I try to cut them shorter. But point is, a lot of you actually missed the initial build and the last build. If you open the video, you see my initial build, which sometimes changes a little bit during the video as well. So for all those people who are maybe newer players and may want to use this as inspiration or just want to have a working build for a division, I'm not claiming it's always the best, but it's a working one for most of the time. You will now see that right at the start, so you can just open the video, you see the, in my opinion, optimized build, and you can use that right away if you want it. And that should save you some time, but also makes that less people miss the actual improved build in the end. And those of you who still want to see what I have to tell about the division, those of you can of course still watch till the end. It's very, very much appreciated. So with that out of the way, let's get into this. So what are my thoughts on this division? This division is very much a C+ division, which is where Koenig put it in this tier list. Now again, it's a tournament tier list, but honestly, for quick play, I wouldn't put it that much differently. It could maybe be in lower B tier, but that is really the maximum we can do. This division has, it has a good variety of tools, but what it really lacks is A, depth, and B, more variety. That's basically where what it comes down to. This division has one thing that it can really do well, and other than that, it struggles quite severely as one kind of map you want to play this on, and other than that, it falls short quite a bit, and this is really what's holding this division down. It has a lot of good units. It has two very good tabs, but they don't really align very well with how you play this division. Actually, three very good tabs, but this is kind of where this division sits. So you have to play one specific way, and that is an aggressive way. This is aggressive and rather on mid to close range maps, where you can make use of your lighter armor and of some of your infantry options that you do have. That's kind of how this works. It is also not very flexible. So again, it really works on those kind of maps with this specific playstyle. There's not that many ways you can use it. And you really have to optimize your combined arms with this division, in my opinion. Of course, combined arms is always good and always important if you really want to win. But this division, it just falls apart without it. You cannot use this, in my opinion, unless you really well combine your recon, infantry, armor, support, air, and artillery. All of it. This is always the best if you use all of these things combined, but in some divisions, you can have moderate success or good success with just using infantry and tanks really well. This doesn't work here. So this is one of the big limitations in this division. Also, in my opinion, makes it not a super easy one. As for the build, you want to play this Vanguard, in my opinion, to make the best use of the aggressive potential that this division has. Maverick works as well. I would really not recommend balance at all. Your infantry and tank tab are just too strained for that. You can't really fit it in. It's really just a very bad division if you do this, because you lack a lot of the punch and the good tools that makes this division somewhat viable. You just can't take those. And you can't really compensate for that with your artillery and air tab, unfortunately. So that should be set first. Now let's get into it. So the recon tab, we basically take everything we have. We could take more cavalry scouts, but I think 3 in A phase should probably be enough. And then in B phase, you do have to Commander d'Afrique, which have another bazooka and some other nice goodies for us. Now, what we don't take is a cheap 50 cal. Now, honestly, in a tournament game, this thing has use. When you know what you're up against, sometimes you can make an M8 rush and you can supplement it with some cheaps. You just get more 50 cals for 10 points. Now, on their own, they get very quickly killed, despite the 50 cal, because it's a cheap without any armor, so it will die to small arms fire. But if you bunch this together with a mighty mate rush, or just a rush on their own, and there's no light armor, no light AT opposing them, then it can actually be quite strong. So these are the one scenarios where you can want to use this. But for a quick play build, I wouldn't recommend it. You can, and it can work at times, but there's also the risk that it doesn't work, and we are we really have to make use of all our activation points in a somewhat efficient way. So in my opinion, you can't really afford taking those, but if you really want to, you can. Now, other than that, one thing that we have here is the Every Saboteur. This unit it's not that great. It's mainly good in A phase because you can rush it in, usually in the traction, which we don't have enough of at the moment. Now, the reason why I still take this unit is because we can supplement our CQC a little bit, which I think should help us overall. And I don't really think we need another card of Calorie Scouts. It is also nice to have, honestly. It's not an easy choice, in my opinion, but this is a nice thing to have. It bolsters our CQC massively, especially since it's not that great in general. And that can help us out tremendously. And then, of course, Stewards in B phase. This is just because we can't really have any other light armor in B phase, unless we want to have more M8s, but I think the Stewards are just better, and it gives us a bit more recon. M8s, double vet, it's just, if you have one card available, I personally single vet them. But we have two, and we have more in the tank tab, so we can really afford double vetting them, which makes them a lot more dangerous and should really give us the best potential that we can get out of them, which we really need since we try to get the best of our initial deployment with this division. The infantry tab, this is very limited. So we have the engineers in A phase. There's not really any other option in terms of CQC in A phase because these guys only come from B phase. They're not the best CQC unit there is anyway. So again, engineers in A phase, it's not that bad. It's a TNT thrower, but the Garans and the Thompson actually made it a decent unit. Now, the only real options we have in A phase are either the Rifles Late or the Group FM. This thing right here doesn't come until B phase. And the reason why I take this in A phase is because that means we can take another card of Rifles Late in B phase, which makes us a lot stronger in B phase still. Originally, this was a recent addition. Originally, you had to take both of these in A phase, and it meant that in B phase, your infantry power just falls off significantly. This makes it a lot better. This thing is still decent. It's not fantastic, but for only 25 points with Raider Trade, it's okay. Honestly, I wish it was more like 20 points because both of these are not really good automatic rifles. But it does something. You can fill the gap. That's going to be enough. And then in B phase, you have the Maquisard. Now, this is the reason why I specifically want to have the Saboteur. The Maquisard, as you can see, it has a Molotov cocktail. It doesn't have shock, though, and it has 3 stands and the automatic rifle, which adds a little bit. So this is really not that fantastic for CQC, but it is only 20 points. It is a quite good unit for 20 points. Don't get me wrong. But for pure CQC, it's not that great. So if you bolster it up with the Saboteur for also only 20 points, I think it's overall a decent mix. And that's going to last us a little bit longer into C phase because we're also taking the Maquisard there just to have a little bit more CQC options because we have our armor for the mid to long ranges. So we want to make sure that we have at least a little bit of holding power, especially in towns. This thing is super useful because you can find at 2 ranges. But that means, if you compare it to like this, Auto Rifles Late, we have, well, those are also have lower availability. These guys have better. No, never mind, sorry. But yeah, we only have 18, so we have a total of 60 infantry. It's not that much. One thing that I'm still thinking about is taking these guys in C phase, vet or no vet. This is definitely going to have more punch at range. There's no question there. I actually think it's a quite nice unit. It's a little bit on the lower end with its strength, though, so that's not that great. But I think it's useful. However, again, considering that, I think we're in like town scenarios where we're really strong with this, and we kind of don't want to lose force too early. Having some more CQC to go is probably better, but I could definitely see myself switching out. Now, it's getting too expensive, so don't put a leader in, and there's another reason why we don't want to do that. This guy is the affordable one, but it comes only in B phase, and it just isn't worth, in my opinion, to take a leader at that point. And in A phase, you could take this one, but A, it's expensive, and B, you only get 2. It has a good loadout, but only 2 is a bit of a stretch, and for 3 points, just not worth it at the end of the day. Now, I substitute this with the Steward leader there, so that gives us a little bit of extra leadership. It can't go into force, which is the downside, and you could take the artillery leader, which I didn't do, but, for town areas, this thing can still do it. You can also put it next to AA, you can put it next to tanks, so this thing is still useful. Gives us also some radio. Then we have another M8. I actually like these quite a lot, because those can actually capture ground, and that adds a little bit more power into our rush that we do have. Next up, we need a medium tank in A phase. This is going to be the Sherman. a regular one. We just want to have a little bit more of these to go, because remember, we don't really have a lot of punch in the long run, so having those in B phase, in my opinion, better. I would love to have them in A phase. I would also love to double vet them at 4 is really a bit of a stretch, because this will have to last us for throughout the whole game. And again, in B phase is where we'll have to slow down, we have to start fortifying. This is when this thing is really going to matter. In A phase, we have a lot of explosive potential where our opponent hopefully can't bring in a big tank, and we still have the M10s to go for that as well. But this is what's really going to carry us through the rest of the game. One thing that I forgot, by the way, because I wanted to mention about why I take these specifically. The speed is quite nice, of course, into 50 cal, and we don't really have any other light thing that can capture things. We don't have any half tracks. And what I wanted to add is we have half tracks here. However, that makes the whole thing very expensive, and this is our bazooka unit, so you don't want to take that into half track and make it very expensive. Support tab. This thing is just a cheap thing to grab some ground relatively fast, and then we have the 50 cal for the extra holding and suppressing power. Simple as that. You can definitely let go of this, and it's not a wrong call in my opinion. You can take something else for 2 points. Just for me personally, there's nothing in these two tabs that I really want. You can take the 2 leader if you want to have an infantry leader. But I just rather not. Commander is not worth it really with the amount of leaders you have in this build, and this thing is definitely worth considering, but it only comes in B phase, so it's not that good either, so might as well just have a little bit of extra pushing power. I made Scott, no question asked. Actually, one thing that I will probably do, since this thing will not be squaring off against any other armor, or at least not realistically, we might as well just have more. This thing is just an additional tool to bully infantry with the 50 cal and the HE. That's a nice mid-range there. 2 KHE is 2 KHE. Some more machine guns in B phase just to help us hold a little bit, because if we look at this, we don't really have a lot of infantry power later on, so this should help us a little bit, and ammo, because we are going to need it. A T-tab, not that many choices here. This thing is quite useful, but it only comes in B phase, and it's not as useful in B phase anymore. On top of that, we have a lot of light armor, so in this division, I would say it's not necessarily needed. This thing can also be useful to rush at the start, but as you see, B phase locked, so not that useful. This thing, useful, but we have the cavalry scouts now. And you know, these slots here are way cheaper, and we have to put everything of like this in here. If you really want to spend the 3 points, it's, you know, it's not a bad call, because you get 6 bazookas, so it's not wrong. But 3 for A phase and 6 more for B phase should be enough, and we get that. And again, this would be 3 points. We can't put more recon in there. And yeah, so 2 M10s, we need those for anything that is a little bit heavier, stronger. B phase, we get this. It is full single vet, so we only get 3, but that's going to have to do. AA, there's not really that many choices. This thing's definitely not good enough. This is phase locked, so we take the M15 in A phase, this thing in B phase. A double vet, we don't need 6, in my opinion, if you still have the M15. It shouldn't really die since it's mobile. It will run out of ammo, though, so you might have to resupply it. And then here we have some options. I personally prefer, so this is something you could definitely take in A phase. I wouldn't take the long term, it's too expensive. Oh, you can't anyway, never mind. But I personally prefer these over the 105s, just because they're cheap and we can use more distributed all over the map, and use it where we really need them up close, so fire quite fast. This thing, and you know, even if there's no radio, this thing can, at the range you use it, provide its own radio most of the time. This thing relies a bit more on that, so I prefer the mortars, but you can definitely take this thing. There's quite a bit of ammo to go, so you shouldn't really run out super fast. Long term in B phase, and then I personally just don't like using this for infantry, because it's quite expensive at 50 points, so I don't like doing it. But so I know some people take them in A phase, sometimes when they don't have other leaders, or you take them in B phase. I don't, so I take the off map instead. We don't need more artillery. This should be enough for a vanguard deck. And this is super expensive, and I don't take in A phase when our income is the strongest, because in A phase we really want to get boots on the ground. We really need to take a good positions, and in B phase this can help us when we're still struggling with something. We, you know, have some remaining A phase income. We have the first hit of B phase income. We drop this, boom, take whatever we want, and be done with it. There's not that many situations where you really need to use this, but it can be the case, so I think it is a useful tool to have if, you know, you're looking at these 2 points and wondering where you're going to put them. Air tab. A lot of options here, not that many things you really need to take. This thing is, in my opinion, quite useful in general, because it is recon. Doesn't really matter the specific unit. We have recon play. Useful. We do take the rocket plane, which makes it extra useful because then we have recon to spot for a rocket plane, because if this thing loses line of sight, it's not going to shoot. So the reason why we take this is, if you look at this over here, we don't have that many tools that can deal with heavier tanks. We do have our limited M10s, and you need to make them quite a bit. They might be running out, they might die, things like that. So having a bow fighter is quite a useful tool to have, and it can give us some extra pressure. Next up, we have the question, do we want to take a Marauder, do we want to take the P38, or do we want to take the P47? Now, the P47 is a fantastic loadout. It's expensive, but you know, you get what you pay for. Problem is, vulnerability. It's quite low. I would love to take this. I would rather have this, you know, doing 9 damage, the 9 damage bombs for, I know, don't care about the price, but 2 availability. And then I would gladly take this in A phase. But the way it is at the moment, I just think this is better. It has basically this. You actually get 3 of them. I vet them because we don't need 3 in my opinion, and we get better agility. The resilience is bad, which I don't really like. I much prefer the P47, but it is quite fast, so it should do. You just have to be careful not to go too deep with this. The Marauders are also fantastic. They're quite heavy though, and not so fast. Very good with resilience though, so you know, can't really complain about that. But I just prefer the fast plane that gets in and gets out. This thing will probably also take forever to reload, so I'd rather not take it. And then we have the choice of fighter. There's really only one option here, in my opinion, is the Hellcat. This is a fantastic fighter. It has very good, with veterancy. We don't need more than that. We don't need 4 of them. We don't need 3 of them. 2 should do, especially at the price. With excellent agility and medium resilience. So this thing can really, really take a punch, and it's really hard to kill. So this thing is fantastic. Now, there is a use case for the bow fighter. If you want to take it at no or single vet though, and this is for strafing. So you can take it. It is not super fast. It has a good loadout though, and this is really just used to strafe things for relatively cheap and force a response. But if you have a lot of them, you can really overwhelm your opponent. So this is one thing that this can do. Also, if you're afraid that your opponent brings a cheap recon plane, maybe even one with bombs, you can send this out for relatively cheap, countering that very nicely, and then you can do some strafing, and it is already paid off. So this is not a bad unit, but in my opinion, the Hellcat for pure fighter dude is just a little bit better, and our A-tab is not that great, so I think we might need it. Okay, so we found the game, and it's not ideal. We're fighting one of the strongest divisions on this map. From the bad side, good thing is it is air spamble. On this map, less so than others, but it is air spamble, which is important because we have a good air force and we need to compensate for our vastly inferior infantry. So his Seeker's infantry is gonna wipe our ass here. So this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be very good. So we need to play the rush game. Now, does he have light 18 A phase? He has light armor. It's not going to be ideal. It's 20 mil armor, though. So now this is where having less of these and more of these guys would be better, because the better armor here helps a lot against 20 mils. But if we have a long enough of distance, these guys will easily win. If we get close, this is where these start losing. So we have to make sure that we get long line of sight. Then we should be okay against this division. If we get too close, it's going to be very, very tricky. So we have to think about how we do this. I think he does have pack 38s, does he? Yeah, he does. He does. I played this division recently, I remember. Let's start with a recon plane. We kind of want to know what he's doing. So there's 2 realistic things he could do. You can rush into this, which is most likely going to happen. This is where at least we maybe have a little bit of a better chance with the rifles late. But yeah, some nice hybrid units are gonna be tricky to deal with. He can try to push this early on. Over here, not very realistic. Over here, not very realistic. But us pushing in here, very realistic. So this is what we're gonna do first. We're gonna take one of the M8s with recon, and then one of the what we also should do, if I haven't done it, it's this. All right, first things first, we're gonna move in here. Now, in case he brings in a recon plane, which he can do. Oh, he has the bomber ones. Oh, please no. He can bomb our reinforcement or our deployment. But I don't really, this is quite expensive. I don't really want to do that. Well, we might want to protect our planes if you want to go air spammy, so I think we're just going to bring one of these early on, and that should probably do the trick. then we don't need... I mean, it's just this thing driving forward, and we don't need to bother with fighter. This is, you know, this is the exact scenario where having the bow fighter is very useful. The Hellcat, on the other hand, as we talked about when we talked about the deck, this is too expensive to buy to counter this. Especially if it doesn't bring it, then I'm sitting on a 120 point plane that doesn't do anything. This thing, the loader, I don't think kills that kind of plane in time. It'll probably just overshoot. That's just not worth it. But yeah, so we have to do this because otherwise the fastest way to get in here is through here, and we'll do that automatically. We don't want to have that. We want them to take the long route, which is also much safer, unless you deploy something like right here. Then we have a little bit of a problem, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. The other advantage, and let me just try to get in here fast. The other advantage that this thing has, the movement here, by the way, so if there's a recon plane, they won't stop to shoot at it, which otherwise 50 cal units tend to do. So I forget very often, but always trying to queue up a move order instead of a attack move order, and then switch to attack move only close to where you want to be. So this is where we're going to reinforce with some of these guys. Oh, also, again, do this. And then, actually, I think one of them is going to do. One of those we can just... That's the wrong one. We can go over here, and then you can try to get in there. This is where now these are coming in handy, because they are also quite fast. We're going to get two of them right away. There's no real other positions where I can use them. Over here, yes, and I'm going to send one in there, but over here it's not really useful. Over here it's very limited. But over here, there's definitely use cases. So we're just going to also send these in here. One we're going to send in here, and one we're going to send in here. And that should probably do the trick, and then our infantry can follow up. Over here, we're going to have to bring... So we're going to rush as well. No big surprise there, I don't think. And we're going to follow that up with some of these guys. And the Sherman. We don't have that many of those, but this is an area where I think it's useful. We can send this thing out here where you can get some more line of sights on things. Over here as well. We're going to bring this thing up close. Actually, maybe a 50 cal is in order over here. Can it? No. Just going to bring it out in the open. We have armor to back it up, so I think we can do that. We need to think about this. This is where we could generally push quite well, but I'm not really sure how realistic that is. So we got one of these in over here. Oop, not what I wanted to do. And then if there's some light armor, we keep one of these in ready to go. Actually, we bring a leader, and that should be able to deal with the light armor. We're gonna bring some rifles late, one of these, and one of the engineers. Hopefully that's gonna do. We can use a bombing run to dig that out. This is where another one of these may be useful. I use it here more as recon. Okay, maybe I should take another unit with recon. I think that would be useful. I'm not really sure if I have the points for AA now. Oh, we want to have it. We want to have it. Then we're going to bring it over here. We can bring like one unit over here. Over there. This is okay. Was a little bit lucky, but it's okay now. No. We'll bring one of these in. Nice and rushy to snipe things that are trying to go that way. And yeah, okay, I think we can't afford the recon plane and the AA. We just have to risk it. One thing that we can do to mitigate the threat here a little bit. It's not ideal, but we can spread out. So bombing run shouldn't really kill too many units. And then we get the engineers and the card off. Well, these guys should probably do. In here. Also, again, spread out. The rifles late going over there. We have this thing going in there, and then we have another rifles late coming in here. And the rifles late is going to go over here. Actually, No, we're gonna have to take a TNT unit for this. And then he's just gonna go sit in here.
I'll let you off at these coordinates.
All right. So yeah, sorry, but whenever someone plays it against me and I'm recording, I'm really sorry, but it takes usually a lot longer to set up because it's just, you know, talking about everything and not going with whatever deployment is going to take some time usually. Okay, so large deployment in the center, some armor on the left. It does bring in a plane, and it is the little thingy. Oh, he probably doesn't know that this thing is not armed, so it pulls it back. But that's a win for me. No light armor over here, so that looks good. No light armor, not a lot of light armor in general. Oh, never mind, there's a SPW-222. And something support for AT gun there. Over here. Okay, so he's covering off the reinforcement road, which is okay, I'm not really pushing that anyway. One thing that I need to do is put something over here to make sure that he can't sneak any bazooka units through my backlines. Something that I probably should start doing very, very soon. Alright. Should be overwhelming this very easily. That's good. We're gonna reinforce this while we still can. Oh, okay, okay. I'm not gonna do this then. And we're gonna bring AA.
Yes, sir. Let's roll. Combat speed.
It's a bit laggy.
What are our orders, sir?
Maybe all the 50 cals will stop it in time. There's another one coming in. That's alright. Oh.
Orders, sir.
Okay, we might still be able to do that. Yeah, one of them got forced off. Oh yeah, I think he bombed these guys instead of whatever he wanted to bomb originally. I was gonna go after one of these, but that's alright.
Let's go. What's the plan? Let's go and look for Jerry. L'heure de la revanche a sonné. Orders are clear. Go ahead.
Alright, we're gonna bomb the AT gun if it pops out again. Can get a side shot here, that would be lovely. We do get a side shot. Do we get another one? Oh, we got the kill. Never mind, it can stay then. Right, we're gonna push over there. I guess we're just gonna have to...
Need some covering fire?
Oh boy, okay. A bit more heavier resistance than I would have expected. Push up with the Sherman to make some pressure over there as well.
Yes, sir. Fire and maneuver.
We're gonna have to wait with this then. Thought this would be immediately useful, and it wasn't. We have our AA piece early on, so he shouldn't really be able to do any AA shenanigans here again.
Engine is running. We're waiting. Step on it. Medic!
This is where this comes in very handy. At this range, the SPW is not going to win that. We're going to have to secure this with some rifles late and engineers. And we need probably another one of these to spot for us. So this is... Oh, actually... We need to get a little bit closer so that the can actually use the 50 cal. Now we can use the 50 cal. This is very important here, and then we can bring another one of these up here. This is what I was waiting for. Still trying to get something in there. Let's shift him over there to intercept that tank. No, we're not going to waste important, precious ammo on this, but we're going to need to spot that. We need to spot that Pack 40 over here again, I reckon. And then let's secure off the open with one of these. Oh. Mortar. Oh, there we go.
Got it.
Love to kill that.
Attention, ce coco est fragile.
Because then we can come in here and actually dominate with this.
GIs ready for battle. Ennemi engagé.
Okay, we may want to kill this off now. It's doing a fresh push over here. We need to react to that eventually. I don't see anything here, so maybe we can try to see if we can actually poke in there with our engineers later on. I wanted to go through there, but I forgot the stupid pathing tool.
Watch for crowds. Roger that.
I actually want to go after this. Right.
Yes, sir. Je suis presque à sec.
You can run.
Pas battre en retraite.
You can go after the IG over here.
Hit. Need some covering fire? We'll find them and we'll kill them. Stay low.
And then we need to reinforce this.
We fix them, you flank them. Let's go and look for Jerry.
And now let's get out there.
I hear you, loud and clear.
Oh, there's something there.
Got them. Second
But it's
platoon,
dying.
sir. Crowd spotted.
We definitely need to react to this. We need to follow up with this a little bit.
GIs
Oh.
ready for battle. That's the way.
I want to go through there, please. And then let's see what's over there exactly. Move forward over here, move forward over here. I can't get too close with this. I've seen a bazooka somewhere over there at some point earlier on. Ooh, this is actually good. We can get... Maybe we can get line of sight on the... Oh. Oh. No. I think there should be a way to escape this if we just go, like, in here.
Yes, sir.
There is a Panzertruck. Just gonna put that into the church tower for now. Oh, so there is a... Okay, let's bring this thing in here, and let's bring these guys in here. Just to make sure that we can hold this a little bit. Oh, definitely not ideal. Let's push that a little bit. 17-7. I do have a feeling there is a slight skill difference here at play. So,
Out of AP, sir. We'll find them and we'll kill them. What's up, sir?
we can maybe get one of these in there to secure this off a little bit.
J'ai une très belle vue d'ici.
There we go. Plane is coming in. I think we are now... We should now be okay to push up here.
Recon team.
Oh,
Eyes out for Jerry.
something killed my other thing over there. Should also probably be getting... Oh. No. Okay. It is what it is now. Yeah, maybe we're gonna have to get... Oh.
Jerry's dead.
This thing is not very nice, so we're gonna have to... Yeah, we maybe... I think I've overextended it a little bit.
We got him.
We're gonna get this thing. This doesn't have any AT to my knowledge. There's 120 mils, so that is something that we can deal with. And then...
Oui, chef.
we need to find a way to deal with that tank there.
Locked and loaded, sir.
Okay, we shift you back over here.
Merde, j'ai touché. Squad, at your orders, sir.
And you may have to go over there. Yeah, he's now pushing in, so I need to stop that ASAP. Ooh, oh. Let's maybe get one of these in here as well, and let's get this thing in just for recon, I guess. We have to be a little bit careful here. I think I'm overextending a little bit. And then we can get another one of these, maybe in here and in here. Promise they can't really fight those 20 mil armor pieces, so we have to be a little bit careful. Let's see where the front line is, and then we can bomb it. He might actually be in this building.
D'attaque au sol.
No, he's not. In here then. Here probably.
Y'a de la DCA dans le coin?
Should not be too deep.
Spotted, check your sights. Oui,
This thing can damage us a lot. I don't really want to gauge that with my engineers
there as soon as possible.
directly. So there we go. And now we're just gonna
Be
kill this without any recon, but I hope he should be fine.
We're under fire.
We're gonna engage this from over here.
We're caught moving this thing. We're done for.
We're gonna get it again in here. Oh. Don't like seeing this thing dying. Oh, I also don't like this thing. But we might be able to kill it off and then quickly retreat. In like here. Good. So this is the more dangerous of the two. So having dealt with this, feeling much more confident now that we can get in here. Did just write something and I miss it? No. Just saw something else popping up.
Shut up and listen to the captain.
This thing with the sniper, I think I should be able to beat it. And now it's probably time to get the mortars out. So this is, for the most part, not how I would argue you usually play this division. Because again, I think usually you need more combined arms. And I think right now I'm getting a feeling of that a little bit. Oh yeah.
Sir. Easy, boys. Jerry's close.
Because what you see right now is like, at the moment, it's still working. But eventually I will get punished heavily for not having, for example, bazookas in here. And no actual armor to support it. So this is where the limitations of this division come apparent quite a lot. Especially against something like this, which has good infantry. And enough armor to support it as well. I think they should be able to take out the Pack 40. Oh, the Pack 40 got killed by the rifles. Oh, we can dodge the TNT.
Let's go, guys.
No, we cannot. We could. In theory. And this is now where we're going to reinforce with these guys. Because they can actually defend themselves up close. And they do have the bazooka, which is important. So, Commander d'Afrique is the unit that we want to have in this urban area. I'm going to get 2. We're going to get some rifles late. Some Maquisards. Both very useful units over here. Over here, we're just going to get Maquisard to help us out a little bit over there. And these guys, I think we're going to hide them in here. So can't really do all that much at the moment. We can see if we can make some pressure over here. We can see if we can build up some pressure over there. And we may be able to do some damage in the backlines if we sneak this through there. This thing is just here so we can keep this forest patch open. This is very important for us in my opinion because this can easily block us out of a lot of important things. So having this here is quite useful. This is, I think, off limits for the time being. We want to back this up a little bit just so that we can't get loose to Pack 40 that we may not have spotted. Panzerfall coming in. If he doesn't have enough recon yet, this is something we can deal with. No. You want to stay here, please. Okay. Closer distance. This is the very expensive unit that has 3 machine guns and it doesn't do anything. Oh. Another Pack 40 doing the damage there. Okay, we can deal with that though. Yeah, our lines here are a little bit raking, eh? Definitely not ideal. Oh, not a fight I want to take. That can easily... Okay, now we just open up on this. Whatever we have. The good thing here is... This thing is really scary, so we want to take out this first. Yeah, that is what I was afraid of. This division is really harmful to be for us because it has so many strong tools. And I think it's time to... Oh no! Oh no! I need those guys desperately. But one thing that I forgot to do is... I didn't take them in a transport. I was wondering how they have not yet arrived. Because they really should have. And we really need them right now. So this could probably lose us the game, actually. Fuck. Oh, how can I be so stupid? Well, it is what it is. We should maybe move this a little bit. And this is an overkill. They're not going to do much over here. They can see things, they can kill things, but they're not going to bring him another flag, which is what he really needs. So the longer we can keep... Oh, it has the nice crit that... well, not so nice, but it has a crit that is quite annoying. And quite strong, frankly. So... We got that with this thing. Quite unfortunate. We may want to shift these guys back and do something else with them. I think they're more useful over here now. We can also call this back. I don't think we're going to need it over there. Let's see if we can get a Makizari. Not from over here, though. Okay, maybe not so close to Reinforcement Road. You've probably all heard my lectures about never put things close to the Reinforcement Road. We don't want to do that. This is one of the easiest way to unnecessarily lose your units.
Yes, sir. We're being overrun.
I'm gonna lose it if I send it this far, and this is where the P40 would be way better, but unfortunately... Oh, we can support from over here. We can also get some of these in here to support. And one of these back here. Some 2k support. That's actually quite useful. And then probably another mortar over there to help us out there a little bit. Oh, laggy lag. Killing the leader tanks, quite nice there. This is what I originally want to take out with the long tom. We get rid of those mortars. 13 minutes left. We definitely need to win this within this time frame. I don't think there's a... Oh, he spotted that, did he? Let's move that then. I think there's no doubt about that. Then let's move this one up. This one over here. And this one can move up again as well. 50 cal is doing some work. Commander d'Afrique is slowly but surely getting in. But that salvo you can also move. No, we're not going to bring any more air force. We may just drop an off-map over here and buy some time with it, as well as maybe another flag for a moment. Because we're going to lose this one very, very soon. He has more and better CQC than I do, so there's just no way I can hold this in the long term. Oh, this is at the range where he can't use the bazooka, the TNT, so this is good for us.
Yes, sir.
I can actually push here now. I can maybe kill off that annoying unit over there. Alright, mortars, resupply them. Move those over there. Maybe move the regular Sherman up there as well. Bring this in here to cover off things. Got the 15-9 again. And those guys, we might want to spread them out a little bit, and we're going to support those with some saboteur. That's going to be enough for him to dig through. Quite lonely. Oh, this is... So if you go over here, it comes from over there. It's good to know. Something is closing in over there. I think we're going to reinforce this with some Commander d'Afrique. They are... And some of the other guys. If something breaks through here, we may be able to deal with that with our Air Force. How are you not able to see that? This one is able to see it. That's very interesting. You should move further back over here where my ammo is going. And the long tom can actually just start hammering this. I'm not going to do any counter battery because I'm planning on winning this soon. If I don't win this soon, I have lost anyway. Oh, it's still shooting. Okay. Still have to go after it. So counter battery, in my opinion, is quite pointless at the moment. Although I'm considering moving this now, actually. Let's move it. Let's move it away. It's maybe a risky, but... So keeping on firing is probably the better call here for us. Because it means that we have a... It's way too slow. It's not going to get out, is it? Oh, no, 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 no! No, 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 no. Some more armor maybe over here. And maybe shifting some Makazar over there. But yeah, so we want to win fast. We can't allow ourselves to just wait forever. But this is where... Oh. I think up close this thing can actually do some work. We definitely gonna need some more.
We're listening. Eyes out for Germans.
Yep, this is what I was expecting. But here's the thing. This is where it doesn't have a lot of air force. So this is where we can actually... so this is where we can actually do this. Oh, I sent in a Commander d'Afrique once again, forgetting that I don't have to... Oh, crap. Oh, this is costing us so much.
Your orders, sir.
We can now move up with this. It's not lost yet. We have the Makizar now. Okay, these guys do not win this fight. These guys on the other hand will though.
If there are crops out there, we'll find them.
Didn't I send another ammo truck? Did I get killed?
He's burning.
They only sent the one.
I got it.
I only sent the one. Not what I wanted. There we go. Got the 15-9 once again. Over here we're just going to wait. It's not ideal to just be defensive, but it's okay in this case. Oh, we got this one somehow.
One more hit and we're done.
Gonna send in more things. Gonna send this in here to deal with any potential armor and try to secure it. So again, the reason again about the counter battery matter. Sorry, when you want or when you will win fast or you need to win fast, counter battery is the last thing you want to do because it means you're spending precious time that you're gonna spend precious time that you could spend on helping you kill things at the front line. You're wasting that to go after artillery that will not do enough. It will not add up enough damage for the duration of the game or the duration that you need. So even if you kill it, if this means you can't hold or win a flag on the front line, that can easily actually lead to you losing rather than winning, despite you actually winning an important part of the fight. You know what I mean? So this is why specifically this is not the best play, and this is also way overextended over here. It's definitely not ideal. We need to hold the territory. So this is where we just Q move some units forward just to hold things. This thing over there, on the other hand, is a light mortar that was annoying, but I think I should have not gone over after it. I should have gone after whatever is over here much rather. This thing is not that good up close. The rifles, they should be able to win that. This is much more of a problem. Then one after another, right? We can't do both at once. We're going to Q move forward. And now a lot of the armor is coming in. So this is where these guys would be super useful now, but we have to go back to the drawing board there. And now we just need frontline units. We just need frontline units. We're gonna push forward with these guys, and we're just gonna try and overwhelm him over here. This thing up close, not sure how well it does against two rifles late. Well enough, actually. Makazar, doesn't matter, we just rush them in. And we're gonna push everywhere. Just wanna keep that tick going, and we need those flags. It doesn't really matter how and what and you know, all these things. We just need it. I think we're overdoing it a little bit, but this is the point in the game where you just go Q move, because it's either go big or go home. And these things can actually engage too. This thing is not really it's not going to win against a Strig, so we're not going to engage with it. I mean, we're just gonna try it. Trigger's not even noticing it yet. I think we may have suppressed. Let's learn a bit. Yeah, I mean, he did. You know, it didn't do bad, but I think he deployed. His initial deployment was a bit on the weaker side, which allowed me to get in actually. I traded him, but not by a lot actually. So he did a good job. I think. Where should we start? I mean, the pack 40s were definitely a mistake here. So to recap this a little bit, I think he made some crucial mistakes that definitely helped me get in, and one of them was investing into the pack 40s early on. They did, you know, they had the extra range, which was super nice, but at the same time, it's expensive units, and he used them in some areas where I still managed to get close in. And the other issue is, if it's not needed, don't buy the expensive tool, especially in a division where, you know, your AA is bad in A phase, because you don't want to buy too many expensive units, because what's going to happen is they're going to get killed by planes, and you need to buy AA, but it's not enough to protect your expensive units, and you lose them anyway. On the other hand, the same thing goes for something like the Französische Panzergrenadier, by the way. This thing, or Candia, or something like that, you know, the one with the triple MG42. This thing is quite powerful, but it's also expensive, and we've seen it in towns. It got actually easily beaten because by by the rifles laid, because those things slap at close range because of the Garand, and if you're like at actual close range where the machine guns don't fire anymore, it is easily outgunned. So in those town areas, it's not that good actually. So in this matchup, for example, I wouldn't bring those, except for some key areas where you can actually maintain the range. But yeah, other than that, I think it's really the AT and the light armor. So if I was him, I would have had a lot more light armor ready to go early on. Because again, in those closer areas, those things are really dangerous, especially against a division that doesn't have bazooka or a lot of AT on its infantry in general. Like, we have to remember, those rifles late, as good as they are, they do have nothing. So it's so easy to bully those, actually. If you compare this to something like a Panzergrenadier, that thing, it only has a Panzerfaust. And I say only here because you'll think, yeah, but it's not comparable to bazooka, is it? And no, it isn't, but this thing, I mean, it can kill the heaviest tank if you win within 120 meters of it. But that is something, you know, in those towns that matters a lot. Whereas with those kind of units, you can just drive through. You could just bullet the crap out of any infantry unit in there. So this is where I think those light armored cars would have been super annoying for me and would have made a big difference. Also, if you're close enough, they will kill a Stewart. We had this discussion recently in the Discord. I have seen this multiple times against me, or when I play 20mm units, they will kill if you're close enough. Which it didn't get to that point here, obviously. But just want to point it out. So I think that is kind of the mistake. But other than that, you know, he had some good pressure. He had some good reactions to some situations. But yeah, it is definitely, it was not, you know, it was not as easy as I would have expected, you know, because again, the division is quite good, and it did make good use of some of the tools that it has. But anyway, I think this was actually a good example of what this division is capable of. It is not the ideal map. I wouldn't want to play this on Streets, honestly. It has some good town tools, but not the Streets kind of town, because they're very CQC oriented there, and something like this is really dangerous there. But some other maps that have the same kind of thing, but with less CQC, I think is where this division is really good. Big learning that we have to do is we have to take our units in transports, because if they have to walk to the front line, very, very slow. But anyway, GG's to my opponent, and thanks for this game, and we are going to move back to the division. So there have been some changes. So first of all, I have taken the Commander d'Afrique now in a transport, because otherwise, you know, they're going to be too tired from walking when they arrive at the front line. Also, they're just a tad bit too slow. So transport, much better. Cavalry Scouts, I've added another card of those guys as well, and I've taken out the off-map. So why the most Cavalry Scouts? If you watch the game, or if you go rewatch, you see that I basically had no recon. So if you've been innerly screaming, take more recon, use the recon while watching, then congrats to you. You know how it should be done. Don't do it like I did. But yeah, this game was a bad example of, or a very good example of how not to use a recon, which is not using it. So yeah, we need more. And we still need the bazookas, so 3 units to do recon and bazooka is not enough. We need more. That's one reason. And the second is the off-map. I just don't think it's that important, actually. And this game has shown us very well why. So this game has shown us very well part of, I'm going to touch it when I talk about my final thoughts, but this game has kind of showed us that it is very difficult with this division once a push gets stopped. In that area, this division just doesn't have the kind of units and the punch it needs to really push on if there's heavy resistance. And the off-map fixes that for you. That's really nice. But you don't really have the kind of pushing power then to really follow through with this. You can gain a little bit with the off-map, but is it worth 170 points? I don't know. The other thing is, it's just this game alone has shown me, and there was quite some skill difference. We won quite decisive, I think, at the end of the day. But even this game has not allowed me to actually buy it. I think if we have more resistance, where it would definitely be worth it more calling it in, I don't think you're going to be you're going to be able to afford it, really. I just don't think you can. If it was cheaper, in B phase, maybe. I've done this with Vanguard with some other divisions, but 170 I think is just too expensive. You're not going to buy this in B phase with a Vanguard income. It's not realistic. If you take Maverick, it totally shifts things. I would probably take it, but not with Vanguard. So that's simple reason. Other than that, I've not made any changes. Two things I would consider changing though, and just want to cover those briefly. So, no, one change I made is single vetting this because we're not going to buy more than one anyway. I'm not sure if this is actually needed. There can definitely be cases where a tank can stop you because you don't have anything there at the moment, because we don't have that many tanks at the end of the day, so we rely on this lighter armor. So it's possible that a tank can stop us, especially a heavier tank. Now, we kind of count with our way of playing this on our opponent not being able to afford a heavy tank. Or not in that, or, to make it not matter because we can push in other places. But in case, I'd rather have one for quick play because it can definitely be realistic. If you don't want to take it, either of those is a good call. I'm leaning to this one because this thing can't really go very deep. This thing cannot go a little bit deeper. This should be used when there's no AA, and then more defensive when your opponent is pushing, which is not going very well with how we want to play this division, which is more aggressive. So this could actually be better, but I kind of want to have two bombers because we have a little bit more pressure with that, a little bit more flexibility. And this thing is just, it's too slow, I think, when there's a AA, and this thing dies because it is fast and gets actually in, but then dies on the way out. I think this thing might get in because of the very good resilience and then die on its way out because it's too slow. It's what I think is going to happen with it. So I don't think it's that much of an upgrade over the P38, but this thing I think will be. So this is what I would do. The other thing that I think is still an option is take the Rally in C phase instead of the Maquisard, because it actually gives a little bit more holding power at range, where this thing is good because it can fight a little bit at range, at least if you have some armor support left, which honestly is one of the reasons why I think this can be a good choice, because you might not have that much armor support left. But here we had it, and we want to win fast with this division anyway, so this may be better because it can hold a little bit at CQC at least. So this is kind of how I see it. We're probably not going to run out that fast light armor, so having something like this to hold on a little bit supported by light armor is probably better. But again, I could definitely see a reason to take the Rally. Other than that, not much I would change. If you want to change some support tower or get 2 points for some reason, this thing you can probably remove since we have 2 machine guns. Anyway, this I would definitely keep, and the 50 caliber I'd also keep. It's good. But this thing is very useful for us. And so are pretty much all the other tools we had. I've not used those all that much, so this would be another contestant for getting removed. So if you want to take something else, this is another thing that I could imagine you might be able to remove. Now, what are my thoughts on this? They haven't really changed. I still believe this is an aggressive division that runs out very quickly. You don't have a lot of tanks, you don't have a lot of infantry, you have a lot of support, but outside of machine guns, there's not that much that you have plenty of. The T-tab is not actually that full either. AA tab, it's serviceable for any aggressive income. It's okay, but yeah. So, and even your support planes, you don't have that many that you can actually bring when you just want to attack things on the ground. So just not a lot of depth anywhere. And yeah, I mean, so you run out very quickly. You want to win fast with this division. Also, if you push get stopped, this division struggles heavily, but what it can do very well because of some of its mobile tools is shift a push. So this is how you want to play this probably. You want to go in different areas, poke a little bit, and then push. And if you feel there's a lot of heavy resistance, fall back, especially if you light armor, and shift somewhere else fast as soon as you can. You just want to have constant pressure on your opponent, not allowing him to take a break. Make sure that you're always pressuring him. Make sure that he really struggles, because when you really push in the defense, this division really struggles. And again, we have seen it in this game, not with full-on defense, but my opponent had made some good plays where he stopped my pushes quite nicely, and I was really struggling to follow up then. Another issue this division has is it's, in my opinion, not that easy to play. You definitely need to make sure your combined arms is really good, because if you've probably seen this, I sometimes was in a position where I really needed a tank. I didn't follow up with one in time. And then I was just sitting there and couldn't really do much. Same thing goes for AT, since you don't have that many options. Yeah, and I definitely think this division really needs to use every single tab, and you need to use it well. We've kind of seen this in this game. There's not a tab that I've just slept on. I've needed the artillery, I needed the air force, I needed the AA. You need to combine everything here nicely for it to work, and this is definitely very true. This division, in my opinion, yeah, it just suffers from not being deep enough and not being very flexible. For most things, you have one answer and one answer only. There's really only one or maybe two playstyles of this division, and unfortunately, you have the two deepest tabs. Actually, no, the deepest and the third deepest are in areas where you don't need it that deep for this kind of play. And having a lot of artillery and having a lot of planes, unfortunately, doesn't go very well with Vanguard or Maverick. At the same time, you don't have the infantry or the tank tab to go long. So it's just that the tab sizes are it's just not very functional, let's put it that. You can't actually use it in any meaningful way. And yeah, I think had this division a little bit more depth in its infantry tank tab, I think it would be much more usable, but it also would be, more playable with other incomes, probably. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as always, or at least from the last video on, and now always continuing. Those of you who have stayed till the end get to pick the next division. Here is the tier list from König that I'm using. Any C or C plus division that has not been played in this series yet, you can wish, and this one is going to be played next, or at least the one that most people ask for, or that who gets the most upvotes if they get asked for the same amount. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you all in the next one.